Hey everybody, today we are back with Mono Red. We had really good success last week with this kind of stock list that we have, and today we're going to take a look at some variants to this list and see how those perform and see if those will make it into kind of our standard rotation here. So this is the deck that we played last week. Like I said, we had good results. We had a little bit of issue with the double red for Razorkin and the Soulstone Sanctuary. Also a little bit of, not enough Valiant triggers on Challenger. And so that was something that Rockface Village was here to address. And it did address it, but not quite enough. So the card that we're going to look at as our main thing today is Scalding Viper. Now this is a 2-mana, 2/1. Whenever your opponent casts a spell mana value 3 or less, it pings them for 1 damage. Now you could play this straight up as mono red and just play it as the creature itself, but it also has an adventure, and that's for 1 and a blue to return non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So by playing this, our mana gets better and our mana gets worse, right? We can just, all of our lands will produce red, so all of our lands will be able to cast this. I'm sorry, with the exception of the Sanctuary. But we're going to look to kind of build around this a little bit. So what we're going to do is we are going to back out of this deck. We will make a clone of the deck, and we will call it Mono Red Viper, because obviously we will be playing blue in this mono red deck. Let's take a look at how we would build this. So the first thing we're going to do is add some cards that we need, and we will add Scorching Shot. Now, Scorching Shot is red to deal 5 damage to target creature. It is a sorcery, but we are going to go ahead and add all 4 of those to the deck. And we are going to grab Viper. And we will add all 4 of those to the deck. And with Viper, it brings up a question on the more expensive side, if we should be playing Osier. So I think we're going to test out 2 of them. They are mythic rares. These additions do take this deck away from being budget, so if you are looking for a more budget friendly mono red deck, I would leave it as just red. But what is really important with Osier is this is a 4-mana 4/4 with trample. There is no haste here, which would usually exclude it from a mono red deck. But if a red source you control would deal an amount of damage that's non-combat less than the power, the source deals damage equal to its power. So for all the ping 1s, you can turn them into ping 4s. The second ability is when it dies, you can transform. You could bring it back as a land. So we're going to try 2 of them in the deck. So when we look at non-combat sources of damage, you have the ping on Nova Hellkite. You have the ping on Hired Claw. You have the ping on Scalding Viper, and you also now have the ping on Razor King Needlehead, right? And so definitely want to try this card. I don't know how good this card is, to be honest. We'll have to see how it works out, but I think it's definitely worth trying. You also have a ping on Screaming Nemesis, if for some reason Screaming Nemesis is less than the power of Osier. So we're going to just give it a try and see how that works out. In order to support the cards in the deck, we are going to be removing Fiery Annihilation. Fiery Annihilation is dealing 5 damage. It is instant speed, so we're moving down from instant to sorcery. But we are moving down 1 mana at the cost of playing red, right? So we'll see how that works out. We're going to be taking out Obliteration Bolts. Again, removal for removal. And we're going to take out the 9th 1-drop, which is Kellen. And for testing purposes, we are going to take out one of the Challenger. Again, we are going to be going down on Rockface Villages, so the Challenger coming out seems more natural. And for now, we are going to take out one of the Light Shatters, just so that we don't have too much on the higher end of the deck. Okay, so that puts the deck back at 60 cards. Now, the only thing is we do need to grab some lands that are going to be able to produce blue. What's great about this card is you don't have to play blue at all, right? Like, you could just play this straight up as a 2-drop. I think Challenger is better if you only are ever going to play mono red. But if blue is possible, I'd like to see how Scalding Viper is going to work out. And so for that, let me go and grab some Spire Bluffs. I'll grab 4 of them. And we will grab the River Pyre. And we will grab a whole pack of those. On lands, we will go down to 2 of the Soulstone Sanctuary. We'll go down to 2 of those. We will go down to 2 of the Rockface Villages. And then we will drop off some actual mountains. And Spire Bluff comes in untapped unless you have 2 or more lands. The River Pyre Verge, this is always untapped as red, which is perfect. And you can activate blue as long as you control an island or a mountain. In our case, it will only be a mountain. But it will always come in untapped as red. And so I think that's an easy inclusion in the deck. Great, let's craft all. And we will go ahead and try this deck. Mono Red Viper. So it's red, splashing blue when needed for the Viper. Let's jump into some games and see how this works out. We're going to change to Viper. I'd love to see how important the adventure on Viper is. If Viper is a strong enough card just on its own, my assumption is when it's in your opening hand, you'll want to play out the other creatures first and then use Viper kind of as a 4-drop. So like here, I could see the Bastronaut first, right? And then Hired Claw, and then Screaming Nemesis on 3, right? And then Viper could be the 4-mana play. I don't know that to be true, but that's what my assumption is, and that's what we're here to find out today. So we will start with Bastronaut and see how this goes. Okay, a relic. Okay. This is definitely attacking with the Bastronaut. And now the idea is Viper or Hired Claw. I assume they want to play smaller spells. I like having the pings online when Osier comes down. It's not put something back in their hand, right? We're not going to put this back in their hand and have them draw more cards. Let's see the Viper in action. Let's see what it does here. Next turn, it leaves open the possibility of Burst Lightning and Hired Claw, or probably not a pump on the Bastronaut, but that's at least something possible. Okay. think this is just as much damage as possible. Let's see what we got here. Drawn cards. Yeah. Getting a plains and 2 life. So we don't have the land in hand, right? So there's no reason not to play Osier here. If he has the board wipe, he has it. I'm not going to be able to play around that. If he needs to find it, these pings are going to hurt a lot more now. If he needs to play a card in order to find it. So this means that Burst Lightnings do 4 damage. Is that correct? Yep. You can Burst Lightning them out. Okay. That game showed the power of Osier. And only one game, but it was very important in that matchup. Let's see how it is in the next. In that last game, we did not use the blue of Scorching Viper, although we did get a few pings out of it. If you're playing a controlled deck and you're getting the pings, that's certainly great. If it's precluding you from attacking because you're relying on those pings, probably not what you want. I don't think 5 lands is where we're going to end up being here. We'll go ahead and keep this. It's unfortunate, but we'll probably have to dump one of these lands just to make sure that we have enough. We can get rid of this. We'll start with red, so as to not give any extra information away. Hired Claw, okay. Play Needlekin. Yep, first lightning and then attack with the Hired Claw. Ooh, very aggressive with Bolt Weave. Okay. So they could put a +1/+1. I wonder if this is... They're so aggressive, just push them back a turn is enough. Next turn I'm hoping... Nope, Nemesis comes out. Okay. Okay. We can kill the Nemesis, but at a cost of 5. Do we really want to do that? Yeah, we're going to have to kill this Nemesis, right? So kill the Nemesis, and play the Viper. Yep. Stinks, but that's what we got. Hopefully they don't have another Nemesis. Hopefully they have a couple of small creatures. Okay. Okay. We don't have enough for the Viper and Osier. He only has one card in hand. But he's going to draw... I'm sorry, he has 2 cards in hand, he's going to draw another one. We could put one of these back in his hand and then play the Viper itself. Or we just play the Osier and hope that he doesn't have a non-creature. Hopefully he has 2 small creatures. Okay, well, he had it. Let's try it again. There are certainly some compromises to the Scalding Viper, but let's try it again. Okay. Here we are. Let's see what we have. Pretty land heavy. But we do have a 1-drop into a 2-drop into things to do with the land. We're going to keep, but we are going to have to make sure that we don't hit lands. If we hit extra lands here, you know, if we hit 2 out of 3 draws be lands in the first 3, right, we're gonna suffer. But we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. We're going to attack in. This could be mono white, but even if it is, we'll go ahead and kill like an Ajani's Pridemate. We'll kill him next turn. They don't have, unless he plays 2 creatures here, which obviously he can't play Pridemate because he's not going to get the life. So here we will kill the Pridemate. I'm debating another Higher Claw or just the one that's even bigger. I think the right answer is another one. This is a hard matchup against life gain, so we want to keep them off of growing their creatures, which is the growth creatures, but also the life gain sources. Okay. Yep, they're going to gain quite a bit this turn. If they gain 1 more, oh, they will, right? Okay. So here we have Viper without the blue. Clearly we are attacking for everything here, right? But we have to decide, are we going to kill something right away? We kill something so that there's 1 less card for the cat. Let's see what this looks like. We're going to get 2 pings. If he double blocks, we do get the chance to pump. We could put something back in his hand and play the Viper. No, we can't do that. We can't do that because we don't have the blue. Okay, so it's kill something or pump. Give him a chance to block. If he were to double block, we would go ahead and do that. But we are going to pump this up by 1. And now we are going to either... So he plays this, he gains 1 life. This is 1 life, this is 1 life, and then he gains the card, right? So I don't want that. Let's go ahead and shoot the bat. Now he's forced to play 2 creatures in order to have this gain him any life. He could play 2 2-drops. That's in the realm of possibilities. No, he's just going to play Halia. Okay. I'm going to kill it. And that's enough for the game. We would attack with everything. We were going to play the other Viper. But he was at 7 life, so that was going to be it. Okay, good showing against Life Gain. A tough matchup, to be sure. In fact, probably the toughest matchup. But we're able to stop the growing creatures, right? So that was awesome. Okay, 3 lands. We only have 1 small creature until we get up to Nova Hellkite. I think this is a keep, but I am a little worried about it. Okay. What's great about the Higher Claw is you can sink the mana as early as turn 2, if that's what you want to do. The opponent is going to kill it right away. Okay. Okay. We can make him pick up the token. I think that's fine. We have a decent amount of mana. We're not going to be missing mana drops here, so this is fine, I think. I think we'll want to get the Viper down with Burst Lightning held up. This is usually a Screaming Nemesis turn, but I think we could just play Viper here, right? Okay. They will remove it, but we do have Burst Lightning up. If this is a smaller creature turn coming up, or a bounce turn with the, yep. Oh, okay. Cyan. Get a map token. So use the map token right away. This is mana value 2 or less. That is good to know. We'll go ahead and kill the Siren here. If they bring it back to their hand to save it, that's okay. That means that we'll get Screaming Nemesis in. Okay. This turn... this looks like a warped Nova Hellkite, right? Get the ping. Attack for 4. Next turn we have removal and a haste creature, or we do have the Nova Hellkite being a bigger creature. Okay. We'll try the Nova Hellkite again. This is 1 toughness here, so... He has Seam Rip and 1 other card in hand. Let's see what he's got. Still Seam Rip and 1 card. It's in our sorcery. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. What do we do? We played Nemesis. And we're attacking for 7. Right? Or do we... Ultra doesn't do anything here. Let's play Nemesis, attack for 7, and see what happens. Okay, -3/-3 kills the Nemesis. Okay. Okay. He needs a way to sacrifice something to get the void active. Yeah. Okay. Without a way to sacrifice something, void's not active, that's only -2/-2. And that's a nice win. This mono red deck in all its incarnations have a lot more play in the 3 to 4 mana spot than you would normally have, specifically with the activated abilities on things like Hired Claw, right? Like you have a lot more choices than you usually have. Here's a 2-lander that cannot play Needlehead right away. I do think it's worth keeping though. And maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's a lesson to be learned, right? Maybe it doesn't work out. Let's see how that works. Go Hired Claw first. And see. We are looking for more lands. We want to get up to 3, right? Okay, this Death Toucher becomes a bit of a problem. We could put it back in their hand and attack for 2. You know, attack for 1 and ping 1. And on the following turn, we can play Screaming Nemesis. Not bad. We could play Needlehead and be looking to get Osier for the pings, right? You know what? Scalding Viper it is. We keep him off 1 more mana next turn, right? This is only a blue, so this is black and blue. And he's going to want to spend the black on Cecil. Okay, this is the only black source right now. Okay, he's going to get a map token. That should probably help him out. Okay, interesting turn. So it is either the Viper or the Nemesis. Let's try Viper. See what this looks like. The hope is to play Osier next turn, and then these Viper triggers are going to be a lot more important. Put Burst Lightning on the Siren. See if my opponent is going to do anything about that. My assumption is no. So, yep. Let's see. Okay. Flash in a Curiosity. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Osier this turn, just... It's hard because it doesn't trigger right away, right? So let's see what my opponent has. Let's see what these attacks look like. Okay. If I block here, that kind of undoes the rest of what I have done, but he will be drawing another card. So no blocks here. Okay. I assume he's got removal here for this. Let's see what kind of removal it is. I wonder if this card is just worth the 4 damage at this point in the game. Is that just a straight up block? Okay. Okay. We'll see if he has another, or not another. See if he has a removal spell for this. Okay. So just the act of attacking wins it next turn. Yep. Opponent realized he probably went down a little too low in life. A lot of choices. Many more choices in this deck than the regular mono red version. But that is also kind of fun. Let's see what we have here. Okay. That's a cool avatar. I don't think I've seen that one. Okay, so this is more the mono red kind of style from the very beginning. Okay. Bastronaut first, and then either Needlehead or Hired Claw if we have something like Burst Lightning to hold up. I like getting start your engines as early as possible. Bastronaut is not an unbeatable card until all of a sudden we have a lot more. Okay. Okay, I think he's gonna try and draw some cards, so let's try and punish him for it. I'd love to be able to get the Hired Claw down before the Osier, but I just don't know. If that's going to work. With 1 mana up, this is a Screaming Nemesis turn. If this is a 3-mana removal spell, he would gain 3 life. That would probably... It's not this inevitable defeat, as he only has 3 with no black. So we get in there and see what happens. No real decisions to make pre-combat here. Obviously he has something, right? Like he's not gonna just have nothing. Fire magic deals 2 to each creature. Okay. This will also deal him 2 to the face. Okay. And what do we do here? Another fire magic could be on board. That Bastronaut and Higher Claw would not be great against that. But he is going to draw a card. Right? So drawing a card brings him down to 5. Fire magic brings him down to 3. And then he gets attacked with Screaming Nemesis next turn. So fire magic, not the best unless he has fire magic and a 1-mana removal. Yeah, but he does not. Okay. That's the pressure of these red aggro decks. Just putting so much pressure that your opponent just can't take these turns off. And just, if you don't have something to do on 1 or 2 and your first play is a 3-drop, these aggro decks are just too fast and they're going to get in there. Let's try another one. Okay. A couple of the new cards here. Let's see how this works. We're going to still start with Bastronaut. Now the question is, turn 2, is it Scalding Viper or is it the Adventure? How do we navigate this? It's all going to depend on what our opponent does. And we will soon find out. Turn 3, we would like to play Screaming Nemesis. And turn 4, you know, you could do something like the other half of Viper and a removal spell. The opponent. This is Zaz Chocobo. Okay. So the putting it back in his hand is not super useful. What they'll do is they'll play it and then play the land afterwards. So that part is not super useful. We could kill it right now, or we could play the Viper and look to kill it later. Putting it in their hand just takes mana away, right? Well, either way, they're not going to block, so no problem with that. Let's play Viper. No doubt they're going to play maybe a tapped fetch land and then pump this up twice. They're going to have 1 mana available, hopefully. Let's see what they do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, can attack. No problem. I would love to Screaming Nemesis, but I do think we need to get this. Like, if we just kill both of them right here, attack for 3, what are they going to do? Play a Mistborn Hydra and we play Screaming Nemesis and bash in anyway? We are going to be down on resources here, right? Like, this isn't going to last forever, but... Okay. Assuming we get a next turn, we will have... start your engines. We have one creature. Could this be a chocobo kick or something like that? It certainly could be. But if he spends his time killing the Viper with a chocobo's kick, he's going to take 4, and this will be a double striker. If he doesn't want to trade, this is 6, bringing him to 8. Yeah, I assume that this is some kind of instant speed. Yep. Oh, snake skin's out. Okay. That does get the extra damage. Is this a chocobo kick? Could be. We're getting close to the point where, yeah. Okay. So 1, 2. This could be pumped twice. So this would be a 3/3. So if he were to double block, this would get rid of the Viper. No, it wouldn't, because he would pump this. Okay. If I play Screaming Nemesis and attack with the other Screaming Nemesis, it's 6 if they just take that. If they just block this Bastronaut. If they try to eat one of those, yeah, this is. So they can block. They'll take 4, and then they'll die to the Screaming Nemesis triggers, or they can double block the Bastronaut and take 6. But they have to win next turn, because we win on the turn after. Yep. Oh. I left the door open for them, right? What? 8, 16. Wow. So I should have killed the Mistborn Hydra, right? Because I did have double strike, and he was going to be a 4/4. This should be off the board, and I am going to lose this game, but yep. My opponent played fine. Yep. Mistake on my part. Should have killed the Hydra, because even though he was going to go to a 4/4, I had a 2/2 double striker. Yep, makes sense. So, missed opportunity there on getting the win, but I think it demonstrated what we could do. I just at the end, I just thought it didn't matter which one I blocked, and or which one I did my damage to, and it in fact did matter. I knew my guy was going to be lost, and so that's when I kind of gave up on the rest of the math there, and it did bite me. So, important lesson. I will keep it in the video, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that makes mistakes like that. This is like a realistic channel, not just only perfect plays. So we will go with haste and we will try and get in. They may have another shock, but yep. Okay. Here we can go Bastronaut and Viper. If he has a removal spell, he's encouraged to use it right now. Okay. Assuming he let this resolve, he does not have another removal spell. Hired Claw. Okay, let's toss him a ping. Yep. We are out of gas here, and so we are going to kill this Hired Claw, but we are... He has one card, we have... Or now it's 2 and 2, but we have 2 lands, 3 lands. Wow. Okay, unfortunate for us. Whoever draws better. Now he may be drawing removal spells, but you know, nothing we can do about that. He doesn't have the 5 mana for burst lightnings to deal 4 damage, so this is going to cost him 2 cards. Okay, but he did get the life gain, so that's a point in his favor. Okay. We're nowhere near thinking about winning the game. We have to be thinking about sticking a creature. We have to think that this isn't going to last. Okay. Play out whatever you have. There's no sense in hiding anything here. You can hold on to a land, but I don't see the need. He's seen that we've been out. Okay. Lightning Helix just to gain life. He doesn't want to hit Screaming Nemesis. Lava Runner. Oh my goodness, with these lands. Wow. Can't go on forever with these drawing lands because my opponent will not also. We're going to win the race as is. This is crazy. No sense in holding 2 lands, although there's very little we could draw. Okay. Okay. Theoretically, we could draw something that would be good enough here. We have to let the Screaming Nemesis hit us, right? Because we don't want 4 damage. So we have to block here. It's going to be haste. Okay. So what do we have to do? We have to block. We have double strike, so we're not going to lose our guy. Okay. What's his last card? If it's to the face, obviously he wins. Yeah. Okay. Borostrom won that match. Makes sense, right? He's playing white. You would definitely want to play both Boros Charm and Lightning Helix if you had access to white. Okay. White is definitely a splashable color in these mono red decks. I've seen blue splash, I've seen black splashed. Yeah, let's see what this brings us. A little land heavy. We don't need to show off the blue right away. Okay, this looks like a raise the past kind of deck. So we can go in and attack. And we'll get this untapped right away. We'll get a couple of pings from Needlehead. On turn 2, he's not going to have anything that's going to stop this from attacking. Yep. We can go ahead and put this back in his hand. Make sure we get in there. He can block if he'd like. Yeah, that's fine. Save yourself a little bit of damage. Yep. So Bastronaut here. Can Bastronaut attack? Needlehead certainly can. We could play Scalding Viper, or we just attack. He doesn't have a sacrifice outlet. We attack with Needlehead, play Osier, and deal him 4. He can chump block. Yeah. That saves him. Okay. Play Osier, and now he's going to regret drawing cards here. Not much in the graveyard yet. Okay, he's got his own start your engines. Yep. Okay. We'll play the Viper. We could attack. No, we don't have... We could attack with Osier, but that doesn't seem like a great plan. No sack outlet, so that's good news. He might have a Raise the Past in hand, but if he does, he would only want to play it after he could attack with everybody. Yep. I'll get a bunch of mobilized triggers here. I get one trigger there on Raise the Past for just these two creatures would be pretty bad on his part. Five damage, unfortunately. How do we get in? He also can't really play that much, right? This would be... Here the sorcery speed hurts us. But one less mana helps us, right? Because we could pump this up and then kill something. He's gonna have a hard time playing anything, though. Anything that's not a direct sack outlet. Safely blocked there. This is vigilance, so it's not going to happen. Okay. That's only two. Let's see, Nova Hellkite. Pings this, attacks for 4. But we're going to have to double trump this, right? What do we do after that? Nothing. Attack with this, he has to block and we can kill this. Doesn't do anything. He attacks back next turn. Yep, we're done. Okay. Good games for my opponent. We didn't have him low enough to wait for something like Burst Lightning to come off the top, which is obviously something. Yeah, that was a fun game. It's fine. Usually we have the chance to kind of get a little bit faster than they would be. And if we had him down to 5 or 6 life, maybe we would have been able to go around him. But That was not the case here. We had a healthy 11 life. Okay. A little bit slower hand, but we'll have to see how this works. We have the... Yep, Llanowar Elf. That'll get put back in their hand. Or we just kill it. We have to play a Scalding Viper. We have to test it out. Let's see. This could be Zaz Chocobo, then play a land, then play the Llanowar Elf. That would not have been good for us. Okay, a bigger green deck. Let's see what we got with this. Next turn we could play Viper and one of the removal spells. But this is the only large creature there. That's fine. I almost want to just attack this Llanowar Elf, right? Something bigger. No. Okay. We can play the Nemesis. So is there anything we're really worried about? We attack this. So if we kill one of the creatures, he gets a +1/+1 counter, right? Okay, if he puts it on one there, he can double block. If he puts it on the big creature, it's fine. We're not going to be able to attack with Viper anyway. Okay, I guess he gets 2 +1/+1 counters. Okay, makes sense. Okay, but what's he going to do with a second Viper? I mean, a second Nemesis. So he blocks the kill one. Okay. So 3, 6, block there. He's at 6 life. Pump spell. Okay. Oh, that does have Trump. Not enough. So he's dead because when we attack, either he takes it or he has to take the 3 damage. Okay, so let's take a look at the deck and think about how this all played out. So looking at the deck, we certainly went above 500 in this set of games. So some highlights, obviously Screaming Nemesis is an amazing card. That's why you want to play mono red in the first place. Oger making the pings deal 4 damage was awesome, but in some ways the opponents kind of control the pings on a lot of these creatures. Not so much Needlehead because it's dealing 4 every turn. But whether or not Higher Claw can attack, again, it can get in there the one time, but if you think it's going to get in there multiple times, that's not really how that's going to work. Nova Hellkite becomes a little bit better, but it was always a good card. I think the standout from these, whatever it was, 6 or 7 games that I played is Scorching Shot. Only one time did the sorcery speed come into play. Otherwise, it was just a straight upgrade from the 3 mana removal. So I think going forward, Scorching Shot will be in unless we really want Soulstone Sanctuary to be cranked up to 4. But as long as there's less than 4, I do like the Scorching Shot. I thought Needlehead was a little bit easier to play thanks to only having 2 Soulstones. So that was really good. All of these can cast red in the early turn, so I think that was really appropriate. Please let me know in the comments below what flavor of mono red have you been trying, and how did you find things like Scalding Viper, or if you're playing the white variant, how did you find it? And we'll look and see what we'll play next time. We'll play a different variant of mono red, and so I'll take your feedback and see if there's something you want me to play, or if there's some kind of strategy that you want to point out to me, so that I have that in mind for the next video. That said, if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and in the pinned comment there is a link to my Amazon web store. If you go to Amazon through that link, if you buy Magic product or anything else, we get a few percentages. It's of no cost to you, and it really helps support small channels like this one. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.